Welcome back to Cue It or Screw It. I'm Kye Hogan.
And I'm Andrew Teeter, sitting in this week for Juggalo the Clown.
Zach Smith from the Nerd is the Word podcast.
Yes, Zach and I, on the side, have a podcast that we do weekly called Nerd is the Word. So we brought Zach Smith in because he is somewhat of an expert of the movie we decided to review this week upon his actual recommendation, Troll Hunter. So,
great American classic.
It's not American at all, actually.
Isn't it Swedish or is it Finnish? Norwegian? I was close. So Troll Hunter is about these intrepid young documentarians who find a deep conspiracy, a government conspiracy behind all of these bear poachings, but it's not bear poachings. I tell you no.
Oh no!
Do you know what it...
Regale us.
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
Can you stop, please, for like maybe a minute?
This is my show. You don't talk down to me on my show.
They find out... Trolls.
Trolls? Trolls are behind it. Okay.
So, there's this troll hunter.
So
hence the title. The
guy they think is this seedy bear hunter turns out to actually be a troll hunter.
Yes, he
That's
hunts
the
trolls.
name of the movie. Troll
Hunter.
Yes. All right. So things to know about this movie. It's kind of like a serious mockumentary,
which is hard to believe in the world of The Offices and This is Spinal Tap.
So it's done in the freehand documentary style.
Shaky cam.
Yeah, shaky.
Which I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the time.
It was very Blair Witch, Cloverfield, but not done...
Not big budget Hollywood.
Yeah, but it wasn't done poorly.
No.
I feel like they did a good job of it and made it all that more believable.
They didn't just drop you into this world where it's like, there are trolls here. They explained through the use of like fairy tales and stuff where it's kind of like, these aren't fairy tales, they're, handbooks.
Cautionary,
They're cautionary tales, guidebooks, kind of things like that, which I thought was really cool. And, bringing in all of that mythology and just like how they like killed the trolls and everything, that was fantastic.
Like taking what people already knew and putting it on its head. I thought it was really interesting.
It made it feel like this could be happening right now, instead of this is happening in a far off land or a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It made it believable that trolls are being hunted right as we speak by people like Zach.
I'm a troll hunter.
So what are some things that you didn't care for about this movie?
It wasn't long enough. I wanted more. Actually, the ending did leave me wanting more. I felt like it wasn't a very cohesive wrap-up.
Did you like the ending with kind of the epilogue of, it was referenced this one time in an actual interview, but it was kind of glossed over, and then they had the one...
That was, I didn't know if that was an actual interview or...
Yeah.
That was what I really liked, was that the style, it lent itself to where... I honestly didn't know if that was a real interview or not.
Yeah,
I'm like, if this is staged really well.
Yeah.
So...
I definitely liked how
I think the thing with endings in a mockumentary is that there isn't a good way to do it. Because in theory, you're looking at somebody's life. You're just really taking a snapshot of somebody's life. And documentaries are like this too, where a lot of times the ending isn't very strong because there's not a good place to step out of somebody's life.
Do you think the ending was a cop-out? Where it's just that's all the footage that we got, and
without
the rest was taken away. Do you think that was a cop-out, or do you think that was like I guess that's a good way to end it?
I think it was a cop-out, but I also think that it's really hard to end documentaries. Yeah. So I'm more okay with it than I would have if, say, Sex, Evil Genius or Hot Rod that we've reviewed before had ended in a similar fashion.
Kye, what do you think could have been improved on this movie?
Some of the edits made it seem like it wasn't a one-camera shoot, and I realized that was trying to build tone and put some B-roll on there. Also with the music, how they edited that too, it made it seem like someone didn't just find this footage and decided to put it out to make the world know about this, but someone put it together as a movie for a lot of people to see, not just quick, let's put all this footage together just beginning to end and push it out as is.
My biggest complaint is because I'm an American consumer who wants things his way, and I was kind of disappointed there wasn't an English dub that was easy to find. Sometimes reading subtitles is really daunting. It's a serious movie, so it's not too terrible, but that was my biggest complaint, was that I had to actually pay attention 100% all the time, or I would be so lost.
See, I thought it was worth it. Usually I am right on board with you, but I think this time it was worth it, especially because I liked their voices so much. Like, even though they weren't speaking English. Yeah. Like the main guy, the troll hunter, I thought his voice was great, and even though it wasn't English, I was like, I like hearing this guy talk.
And the thing is, I think it takes away from the authenticity of the mockumentary.
Sure.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's built up that it's set in Scandinavian land.
Yeah.
And it would take away a lot of that if you do an English dub.
That's fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes right down to it, would you cue it or would you screw it? Kyle Hogan.
I would definitely say cue this movie. It's one of those that if you don't want a horror movie per se, but you want that cool first-person perspective of something that could be seen as scary or like big disaster event type thing, this is really good. So like, I'm not a fan of horror movies. I'm not usually a fan of things like Cloverfield or Blair Witch Project, just because like those scary movies don't really have a plot to me or interest me that much. But this had a plot. It was fun. It didn't take itself too seriously, but just seriously enough that you kind of wanted to believe it the whole time. So it was a great ride. I would definitely say cue this movie.
Sure. I'm in the same boat. I'm a big fan of mockumentaries and documentaries. I like this style a lot. And at a certain point I was getting tired of the mockumentary style, and then I watched Troll Hunter, and it's a really fresh take on mockumentaries and really, really fresh look at it, at the style, at the genre. So I would definitely say cue it. It's really, really interesting. It's more interesting than I ever expected it to be.
Let me tell you. Cue this movie. 3 cues, no screws. Reason why I would cue it is because it's fun. It's very exciting. Shaky cam usually doesn't do it for me. A lot of shaky cam scares me, but in this I didn't get that. I'm like, oh, this is a pretty interesting take on
For
this.
me, that built up the perfect amount of tension.
Yep.
It did, and the troll graphics were actually pretty good, I thought. And just the whole idea, the bringing in all the mythos of the trolls and everything like that was just, it was impeccably written, very well done, very well delivered, good movie. Cue it.
All right.
Cue this movie.
All right. So
Put it on your cue
this has been another episode of Cue to Screw It.
list.
We voted to cue Troll Hunter.
Yes.
Thanks to Zach Smith for being our guest. You can check out his and Kyle's podcast on Facebook. You can check out some more Cue to Screw It at our blog spot and our YouTube channel. And
also our Twitter, if you want to voice your opinion about this or recommend other movies. Who knows? We might have you on the show, unless you're really far away, in which case, sorry.
Skype. I mean, we do take your recommendations seriously. You can even ask Zach about that.
90% sure I won't be allowed back.
Oh, you know it's 100. All right, I'm Kye Hogan.
I'm Andrew Teeter.
Zach Smith from Nerd is War Podcast.
All right, we'll see you all
Catch you
next
later.
time.